today's auspicious day of Sri Hanuman Jayanti, I would like to explain some logical reasoning on Hari Sarvottama and Vayu Jeevottama. You may agree, you may not agree, but this is something which is very theoretical and logical explanation where the approach is very logical approach. So, suppose if we have a poet, when we say there is a supreme poet, the poet who writes more number of poems and more strong and more popular poems becomes a superior one. Similarly, if there is a sportsman and the number of runs he scores or number of goals he scores, based on that he will become a superior. And similarly, an artist or a singer, the number of songs sings or number of songs he has composed, the more crisp and beautiful voice he has, based on that he becomes a supreme. So similarly, even when if you take another materialistic stuff, right, where factory, the amount of materials it produces, based on that it becomes a high quality, superior or inferior. Similarly, when it comes to human beings, the number of kids that they used to produce, based on that also they used to be called as a great person and all. So when you take this particular logic, now if we start, since Vayu Jeevottama is related to a non-material person, means it's a personality or it's a living being stuff kind of thing. Let us take example of living being. As a human being, what you produce more, and what is the thing that you sustain for longer period of time, and what is the quality things that you produce, based on that you become supreme or your popularity will increase. So if we take a normal human being, it is like number of kids they produce, amount of work they do, and then the quality of work they do. Based on that, they become supreme in their particular group. Like that, if you go above and above, right, all devatas will start coming up in the series. Like I become supreme first when I compare myself, and then someone else becomes supreme to me based on the criterias, and then someone else will become supreme. Like that, when you complete all human beings, now you start ascending into the gods, the god list. For example, sun produces sunlight, and so based on sunlight, he's the supreme. And now above sun, you go something else. If you go to Varna Deva, Varna produces the water. So similarly, like that, if you go above, right, still with this particular logical reasoning, Vayudeva becomes Jeevottama. Among all the Jivas, he is the Jeevottama. Why? Because the amount of air he produces, as we know that, let it be a fire or water or population or materials that we produce, all needs a space where they can accommodate, and they can get a limited space in this universe to accommodate. But if you take air, air can be accommodated into entire universe, and it is also inside the material, it is also seen outside the material. Whereas water or fire may not be seen inside and outside. Antar bahishchata sarvam vyapta narayana stitaha, like that. So inside and outside, everywhere the air is being occupied, and then Vayu Deva is the one who produces this amount of air. Look at the quantity of air Vayu Deva produces. Look at the quality of air that Vayu Deva produces and sustains for a longer period of time. Even if the percentage of oxygen in the air reduces, most of the living beings will die. But though so much pollution, so much air being polluted, so much air is been getting heated up, still the oxygen percentage remains same. That means Vayudeva is sustaining quality of the air that he produces inside and outside of our body and in the universe. And hence, even with this particular logical thinking, of what we produce and what we sustain and what is the quality of the product, based on that if we call as a supremacy, still why Deva will become Jeevottama. And of course, on top of that, Hari Sarvottama always, because the Hari is not only just about producing the materials or living beings, but he also accommodates everyone inside his tummy when there is a Pralaya Kala. And hence, he cannot be compared with anyone and he becomes always supreme, and hence Hari Sarvottama Vayu Jeevottama. Just a small thought, what came to my mind is been explained to you. And if there is any mistake, it's all mine. If there is any something good quality, it's all because of Guru blessings. And on this auspicious Hanuman Jayanti, it is a seva from my side to Lord Hanuman. Hari Sarvottama, Vayu Jeevottama.